Alright, what's poppin' with it, y'all? We back one more time. You feel me? Hot as fuck. Ohio. It's it's August 24th, you feel me? It's the worst time in Ohio. Hella humidity, sticky than a bitch, you feel me? It's stickier than a 3-year-old's motherfucking cup holder on a car seat. It's sticky. It's serious. That's what you call humidity. But nah, let me quit bullshitting. We back. You know what I'm saying? We read now Algonquin conquest of the Mediterranean. You know what I'm saying? We always got to give shout out to Tomahawk Tony. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to always give big ups to my man Doodle Vision, the great James Flames. You feel me? Always got to pay homage to Choctaw Jimmy. All these names, same person, different monikers. You know what I'm saying? You may know them different times, different places. You know what I'm saying? Different names. You know what I'm saying? But still same great man. We got to shout out to Phoenix Moon. We have to shout out to my baby Asa. You feel me? My man Lacono. All my mans over there in the islands, my mans across the pond, as they would say, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? I just want to send a little love out to y'all. My man Vibes, you feel me? What up, though? My man, shout out to Indian Mac, too. Mac, I see you, bud. You know what I'm saying? I'll let your mans know. But, you know what I'm saying? Enough of that and enough of this. You feel me? We don't get to read. Where we last left off, you feel me? We was getting into the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can also, into the book, uh, we're going to just type it in. I think it's Native Americans in Europe. I think the book is. I got that. Let me say we'll get into that one right after we get done reading, because this was the other article. As you can see, we're gonna get into them to that leopard print you in. That leopard print means a whole lot when we talking about ancient people. When we talking about who settled the main Mediterranean and what the who gave them the science. When we talking about the Moshe or the Moche or the great pyramid builders or your great mummification type of situation. You know what I'm saying? It's that all of these people, say hella brown, hella dark skin. One day I get into it, the king's bling. You know what I'm saying? That's your Moche. You feel me? Get you the idea why. You know what I'm saying? Your Egyptians wanted to be so flashy in the middle of the desert. You feel me? Think they'd be more worried about some water. But it's the same problem the Incans had. You know what I'm saying? This is this flashy lifestyle. You feel me? The same reason the dope dealer can't stay out of jail. It's this flashy lifestyle. You feel me? It just calls a nigga. We can't help it. You know what I'm saying? The reason you put the shit, get money in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Money on your neck. Money on your wheels. You feel me? You want them to see you when you step by. You feel royal. You know what I'm saying? You stand on the corner with just no t-shirt on, like you run this motherfucker, and they can't stand it. But it's in your spirit. But that's enough of that. Enough of the soapbox shit. Let's get to reading. You know what I'm saying? The thing I like about this book, you know what I'm saying, it's written by, somebody related to me. As you know, this is a Poe who wrote this. You feel me? It makes me feel a little bit better. It's like in my blood to be bothering people. You know what I'm saying? Change the narrative. It says there may be another people of Western and Central Europe near the Mediterranean Sea, especially southern and Western Europe. I don't know of who possibly could be descended from the first non-Carthaginian Atlanteans. It has been so long since the end of the Atlantean Empire, and so many changes have taken place since the end of the Atlantean Empire. Realistically, it is possible that no people existing in southern Europe could be remnants of the Atlantean people, so famous of the world's history. Yet, it is very unlikely of a people living in the western and central, northern, and southern, even eastern European countries' past history and their recent history to, if possible, to discover anything from normal, then it may exist. What I look for his language, of course, race issues, and if there's any current unrest among those people against the country they reside in. As Atlantean Italians, I reckon that they prefer Italian over anything else. Who he's talking about is the Latinos, your black Bambinos. You know what I'm saying? We had to get into that look too, man. Shout out to Kerry Mayo. One day we'd be able to just go through and just dig through all his files. The boy is, you know what I'm saying, unfuckwittable. You know what I'm saying? Top five dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give him his crown while you're here. Show him his flowers. Show him his stone. Let him know, you know what I'm saying? He's shining. Let him know we can see him. You know what I'm saying? Go over there. That's Kurimeo. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? You definitely learn something at that. Keep it real. 432. Keep your frequencies up. But we gonna go from there. It was just that the European gypsy people and all this. I remember reading this on the last video, so I don't really wanna, you know what I'm saying, as they get into Pompeii. Let's see. Okay, we have a source that says the collapse of the War Empire. At the height of his glory, the War Empire dominated the South America for 400 years. One of the largest tribes of the war avoided for more than 1,000 years was the Moshe Tribe. The Moshe Tribe had existed in South America for thousands of years, and the earliest South American tribes that came to North Africa 7,000 years ago, they built ancient Egypt, included the Moshe. Now, what's funny about that is I want y'all to get more of this book. Ancient. Boom. Tango and Bongo. Shout out to the brother. From across the water. Bad Nigerian, man. One day this shit'll be free. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate your work, man. Thank you for putting everybody up. But it says the Moshe were also the first tribe to set up settlements in Eden. The Moshe tribe was the largest tribe in South America for thousands of years. The Moshe were already peaceful and deeply religious people. The Moshe hated war and the killing of humans, and they started the War Empire. The war tactically used diplomacy to avoid confrontation with the Moshe. Some of the smaller tribes relocated to Moshe lands and became part of the Moshe tribe in order to protect the war and protection from the warriors. The Moshe tribe quickly expanded. They all changed about 1,400 years ago after the warrior empire started. The warriors decided to conquer and annex the Moshes. It turned out to be a fatal mistake. They succeeded in defeating the Moshes in battle, and several Moshe people had either were either beheaded or taken into slavery. However, the Moshe king, who had escaped, was able to persuade several of the tribes who were part of the warrior empire to join the Moshes and take on the warriors in an epic battle they found forever and the altered the course of the South American and African history. So as you can see, this deep war right here, you know what I'm saying, is we got is an intercontinental thing, you feel me? It was taking place, you know what I mean? I had to get back into this book a little deeper because he did a great job, you feel me? Like, the names may be a little off, little, you know what I'm saying, changed, but that's just because his story is coming from thousands of miles. He has the same history, but thousands of miles away. So a person has to do nothing but respect that. You feel me? That this shit stayed so well taught through all those years, and I appreciate the brother. You feel me? But this is the type of information to get people heads not slapped off. You feel me? In certain places, because they don't want to hear it. So it said, at the time the warriors fled from South America, the ancient Egypt had collapsed, but Nubia had emerged as the successors of Egypt. Most of the warriors ended up in Nubia. Some of the warriors fled to West Africa. So when we talk about the West Africans, we had to be talking about if they came down we had to be talking about your Igbos. So, boom, let's start. My bad, y'all got to go with me through the inbox and all that, but I'm a real person, so this is in real time. This is also a good photo. It's the human sacrifice of the Temple of Tigers. It says, in the principal fiestas that the Maya sacrificed a man, a woman, and children begging for favor and help in war, and they be given help and favor and whether an abundance of good and for a long life and successful in hunting and fishing. On occasions of cutting the heart out of the victim, the shock seized him and bent him up his back over the damn, I fucked it up. And a knife of stone in his hand, and he struck him with a barbarous skill between the ribs and under the left breast. And straightway he thrusted his hand into the breast, and fierce of joy of a tiger, he wore particularly the heart. I'm thinking he put the heart on him. Okay, so as you can see, this goes also to when we talk about your Liberians. What happened whenever they went there to take back Liberia? They ate a man's heart for invincibility. General Butt Naked. We'll get into General Butt Naked a little bit later. If y'all remind me, I'll make sure I share out that video on Vice. It's hilarious. Oh my god. Ain't nothing like it, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's something else. Let's keep it moving. As you can see, these people are very dark skinned people who is doing this. Some people would say they painted themselves that color, but I would say what for? You know what I'm saying? Why? Some of the hands be light skinned, but that's because a lot of things have been touched and marked on and tried to be lightened. It's people are weirdos. Let me just put it like that. But this is like the first prisoner outfits. A lot of people say that the Mayans gave people the first jail outfits. The striped outfit came from the Mayans. This is so example of the water and plants of the temple of warrior groups, drawing and somewhat ambiguous as their painters have double perspectives in mind, enabling the flower to be viewed from above. The silhouettes at the same time lower sections portray a cup shape and a yellow flower attached to the tangled growth of green stems, while upper sections somewhat resemble the water lily as it floats upon the surface. Lower portions of the black-skinned combatants as they're waiting near the shore. The left fish conventionally drawn by color to right part of a striking look of creature somewhat resembling a jellyfish or a sea anemone. The same creatures identically characterized were found in several times in the water scenes of the temple, but unfortunately never sufficiently entire to reveal the nature of the uh, rear extremities, proportions of the canoe and paddle, and typical fish, either uh, consciously or thoroughly accident of the painters permitted most of the original red sketch lines and stands when the fish were completed. Such was found of the sea to the portray the sea battle wherein the black warriors were victorious over the fair skinned folk having long yellow hair studded with green beads. The following fragments fallen from the wall institute further indicate the combatants on the vanquished tribe being dragged by their wrists into canoes The face is visible just above the angle formed by the two wrists, and the feet appear upon the stone of the two left below the arms of the swimmer. Captives grasped by their hair. The captive's arms are just thrust through the shield, similar to the device of those of the preceding plate. Captives with rope-bound arms, heads of another figure of the same type, portions of fish above, the hands grasping a weapon of paddle to the left. It's from the area 19 to 21 depict the areas of relations and episodes concerning the fair-skinned people we defeated in battle and subsequently sacrificed by conveniently equipped black-skinned warriors. Uh, Characteristics of the former group, a member of which is here represented seeking escape by swimming. Conventional methods of depicted water, blue grounds crossed with undulating black lines and simplex, I can't see what that is, conquered bands, probably symbolizing foam at the water's edge. The canoes prow at I don't know, an animal's head on the canoe lying diagonally across the center. The picture represents more probably as a prow were drawn up on the beach. A later boat is manned by the warriors of little remains except the yellow and blue shields. The fish exhibited departures from the convention of the right uncolored and the lack of unusual that to the left done a red and white scene in apparent pursuit of the swimmers has been a tentative dark additional fragment associated with the scene can be found on plate 147, 148, or 49. There we go. Shout out to Dude Vision. I was always told this story as, you know what I'm saying, that it's a left. They went on, different little ventures, came up to South Carolina and went to, what you would call modern day Louisiana, did certain other little ventures. And then when they came back, when the Moshe came back, or your Itza came back, or, you know what I'm saying, your Catawba, however you want to call them, the boat people came back, they found these motherfucking bullshitters in the temple faking like they was the high priest and they was big OGs and big homies and they weren't supposed to be there. So I always associate this book with the 1500 Mongol conquest of Peru. If you ever want this book, that's where it came from. As you can see, in the area of Belize that the Mayas suffered and died under the Spanish occupation, they were massacred and fled to the defense of the forest in the central western Belize for security. The British buccaneers and pirates also attacked the Maya along to the coast of Belize and raided and destroyed most of the Mayan settlements along the coast. They also stole food, enslaved the Maya, and kidnapped the Mayan women and children. Some Mayans were enslaved and sold as slaves to the British plantation owners in the settlements of Jamaica. Some were also sold as to slave masters in southern states of the United States, especially North and South Carolina and Virginia. The regions was the land suffering non-whites and also prospectively the settlements from Europe attempt were also made to improve relations between the rival European powers in the region with Spain. Granted the British settlements and the right to occupy the areas that is now Belize, Spain also allowed the British settlements to cut longwood in exchange for the end of the piracy while the slavery continued. From the early 1700s, the African slaves were shipped to Jamaica and Belize to cut longwood and do the slave work for the British settlements. The earliest written records of the African slaves in the British settlement of Belize may count by the Spanish in 1724. So we talking about 1724. So all this time we talking about they got there in 1492. They've been talking about slavery this, Negroes that. They're talking about the first one they got was in 1724. That they can really account for that they can put documents on. And I guarantee blood was thoroughly mixed before he made it to that situation. And we started and recently been improving slaves in Jamaica and the British colonies of the region. In the century last, the numbers of the African slaves in what it believes reached 2,300. That's not much. Most of the slaves were born in Africa, and many of them knew which tribes they came from. They also continued some of the African ways and lives in a number. So